Hey there guys and welcome back. I'm Mix. I got myself this really cool Zhongli cosplay, and this week we're going to talk about Sumeru and the 3 changes that Mihoyo has to make a kick-ass storyline. We're going to look through the storylines of the previous 3 regions and see what Mihoyo did better back in the Mondstadt Archon quest and the Liyue Archon quest. We're going to talk about what happened with Inazuma and how the lessons learned from Inazuma can carry over to Sumeru, and we can have an amazing new storyline there. First of all, I am Mix. I make Genshin Impact content and video, so check out my other content as well. Now, I have 3 things I want to talk about today with you guys. Number 1, the Archon. When it comes to Sumeru, we know for a fact that the Dendro Archon is called Lesser Lord Kusanali, and that she's female, which is kind of weird because the word Lord doesn't actually go together with her female nature. Wouldn't it be like Lady Kusanali? Anyway, we know that she's the Dendro Archon, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be some kind of trickery at play. Ever since Mondstadt, we have 3 Archons, and all 3 of them were not who they said they were. Venti appeared in front of us as this bard. Zhongli had this like separate personality. Rex Lapis, rather, had this separate personality of Zhongli, Geodaddy. And then there was this whole debacle with the Raiden Shogun and A, and there are 2 A's, and like there were 2 sisters and one died, and it's like so confusing. But anyway, I do believe that Kusanali as well, she's gonna pretend like she's the Dendro Archon. Maybe she has a different personality as well. Maybe she's just a replacement for the previous Dendro Archon. We don't know. But one change, the first change that the Mihoyo team has to make is return back to form and have us spend time with the Archon, with the Dendro Archon. Now, you see, with the Mondstadt Archon quest and the Liyue Archon quest, we actually spent a lot of time with the respective Archons. We had conversations with them, we went through different adventures with them, we fought with them in a couple of occasions. But with Inazuma, it was completely different. The Raiden Shogun didn't show up until the very last act, I think. She made like a brief appearance in the 2nd act. And again, we didn't meet her at all in the 1st act. So it was really, I don't know. It felt weird because we didn't know her. We hadn't had any conversations with her. There was this like bait and switch towards the end as well, where actually the Raiden Shogun is the puppet, you know, and it's like this robot, this android or whatever. And I am the real, Electro Archon. A is the real Electro Archon. But by that time, we hadn't actually met A. We had barely known her. So it's weird. So I think what they should do is learn from their mistakes. And number 1, as I said, make sure that we spend time with the Dendro Archon. We have conversations with him. We fight with him. You know, there's interaction so we can build that relation. Number 2, structure the storylines better and make sure that we only meet characters that are absolutely crucial for the story. Now, this is a mistake that Mihoyo made with Inazuma, and it doesn't really make any sense. With the previous 2 regions, and especially with Mondstadt, we only met the characters who were absolutely necessary for the progression of the story. We met Jean, Lisa, Kaya, Amber, Diluc, and Venti. That's all. 6 characters. Just 6. No more, no less. And we built this really nice narrative about Dvalin and whatever. We didn't meet Diona. We didn't meet Noelle. We didn't meet Bennett, Razor, or any of the other 4 stars. And that's okay. That's fine. We got to meet them later through separate events and through their hangout events. And that worked a lot because we were focused on the main storyline. We didn't have to go through a cocktail mini game with Diona. We didn't have to spend time with Razor or Bennett while Mondstadt was burning, you know? But with Inazuma, that's exactly what happened. We spent time with characters that didn't actually add anything to the narrative. We spent time with Sayu, with Yaomiya, and we had to meet every single Inazuma character for some reason. I get it that sometimes you have to do it for marketing reasons, right? Like there's this new 4-star or new 5-star, and you want to include them in the Archon quest, but maybe they shouldn't do that in Sumeru. We don't need to meet Mahmoud, the carpet salesman, who's like a 4-star. We can have a hangout with an event with him and spend time and like learn all about his carpets and stuff. We don't need him to show up in the Sumeru quest if he's not necessary. And the same thing happened with Liyue. We didn't actually meet Jing Yang. And people were complaining, where's Jing Yang? How would Jing Yang work with the Liyue narrative? It wouldn't. She is a rock star. She plays music. That's all she does. You know? So I think it was a wise decision not to include every 4-star. So a quick recap of the second tip. Mihoyo, you don't need to include every single character in the Archon quest. We can meet them later. Focus on the select few characters you want to weave the story around. Focus on the Archon, not some random 4-star. And number 3, keep the story fresh and add new elements. We know that Sumeru is in a weird situation right now. There's some kind of turmoil with the sages and the researchers in the academia. We know that the God of Wisdom, the Dendro Archon, probably doesn't see the folly of his ways, or maybe that's what we heard. We heard that even though he's the God of Wisdom, he acts with folly or something. Weave a new type of narrative. In the first 2 Archon quests, we went to a new region, we met the Archon in disguise, and we had to save the region from an external threat. But with Inazuma, there was a change. The villain of the story was the Archon. And you know what? I'm going to give props to the Mihoyo team for that. You know, we didn't have another world-ending beast that was going to destroy Inazuma. No, the villain was the Archon. Cool, nice, interesting, fresh. But what about Sumeru? What do you do with Sumeru? Are you going to introduce another celestial beast that's going to destroy the world? No, I think the best course of action here is to make a unique Archon who's unlike any of the ones we've already seen. Like we've never actually seen a weakened Archon, like a physically frail and scared Archon. Venti was more like kind of silly and like lazy, but we've never actually seen an Archon who doesn't have much, you know, power or feels very scared of using his powers. Maybe that could be a nice plot line. And maybe he's manipulated by the powerful sages of the academia. And through that, you can introduce a new evil faction. We already have like a couple of them. We have the Fatui, we have the Treasure Hoarders, I guess, and we also have the Abyss Order. But what if we introduced another threat, the Illuminatus Sages or something? Maybe they're focused on elemental magic, and you can add another faction into the game. It's going to be really interesting to see how will they react with the Abyss. Have they been corrupt by the Abyss? What is their relation with Snezhnaya and Fatui? Again, you add a new element to the story and you weave it with the existing world. That's what we want. Something new, something fresh. I don't want to be fighting loot hoarders again. and Fatui again. And for those of you that say, well, it's too late to add another faction, guys, we're not even halfway. The story of Genshin is like, what, 35-40% complete? We still have like 4 more regions. And after we finish that, we'll probably visit Celestia or Conria. So there's like many more years to that. We can add more elements into the story and more factions. In fact, making a faction of villains that is unique to Sumeru will make it even more interesting, because you'll have to adjust your playstyle with the new enemies. I don't know. So these are my 3 tips for the story of Sumeru and how we can keep it fresh, keep it new, and actually improve on what we have already. Let's not repeat the mistakes of Inazuma. Let's not focus too much on the 4 stars and random characters. Let's give the focus to the Archon. Let's add new elements to make the story fresh and cool. And let's see where this goes. Guys, I want you to comment down below and let me know, what do you guys think? Is there anything else that can be improved with the Genshin story? What changes would you make with the Sumeru Archon quest? Let's have a conversation. Anyway, don't forget to hit like and smash that subscribe button for more amazing Genshin Impact lore and gameplay videos. And if you want to see more Genshin videos, guess what? I have a whole playlist filled with amazing lore videos about Natlan, Fontaine, the terrain of Sumeru, and many, many others. And of course, my fan favorite, Who's Gonna Live and Who's Gonna Die, the future character death predictions video. And, as always, I was McMix. I'm an anime and Genshin Impact YouTuber. And I'm so glad to have you here, guys. Thank you for watching my video. I'll see you in my next Genshin Impact video, guys. Until next time, I will have order.